What's up, guys? Welcome to episode 52 of SPI TV. Today, I want to talk to you about meditation. I don't know what that was, but meditation is something that I actually do every day now, and I find it to be really, really important for my focus, for personal development, and I wanted to share with you why I do it, why I think it's important, and how I do it, but also why I thought it was the dumbest thing in the world at first. So, here we go. All right, so let's talk about what I had just said there. You know, I didn't really think it was the dumbest thing in the world, but I always thought it just was kind of ridiculous. You know, people sitting there cross-legged with their hands like this, humming. Right? Like, I didn't get it. And like some people, when they don't get things, they just kind of put it down. And that was totally my bad. I now, after meditating for about 8 months now, completely understand why you do it, because it is completely life-changing. I'll tell you why in just a sec. So I was asking all my friends who were meditating, how do they meditate? And they all recommended, or most of them did actually, to use an app called Headspace. And Headspace is an app that is guided meditation. There's a voiceover who walks you through the process of meditating, and he tells you to think about certain things and when to do that. And he just essentially helps calm you down and helps you stay focused. And that's really what I learned. That was the first thing I learned about meditation, it's all about focus. It's not about clearing your mind completely, which is pretty much impossible to do. It's about staying focused on one thing for a longer period of time. And you can start to see how this can help you with entrepreneurship, because in entrepreneurship, if you're trying to be productive, focusing on one thing at a time is obviously really, really important, but doing it for long periods of time is even better. So instead of getting distracted, staying focused on that one task is going to help you through into that goal that you're getting into. So Headspace was helpful because it helped me understand, well, really what meditation was all about. But my issue personally with Headspace, I know a lot of people who still use it, who still love it. I recommend it for starting out if you want to give it a shot. But my personal issue was just I didn't know if it was working or not. You know, all this, what he calls traffic in your head, I felt like there were so many things going on. I was thinking about all these different things at the same time, especially when I was trying to focus. My brain was always thinking of other things. How many of you have ever read a book and then all of a sudden you finish reading a page and you don't even remember what you read because you were thinking about something else? I felt like that was happening to me all the time. But now that I've meditated quite a bit, I don't do that anymore, which is really cool. So it's actually helped me with my learning ability too. Well, I needed immediate feedback. I wanted to know if I was doing it right, and I didn't know what it felt like. There was nothing that was giving me feedback on whether or not I was actually doing this in the right way. And you know, it's really hard to ask somebody if you're meditating in the right way because it's all in the head. Well, that's when I got introduced to this little guy called Muse. M-U-S-E. You can find this at choosemuse.com, or you can check out my affiliate link at smartpassiveincome.com/muse, M-U-S-E. This is a brain sensing device. Yes, a brain sensing device. On the inside here, you'll see these little sensors, and you wear it sort of like a headband, so in reverse. And it looks kind of silly, and typically I do this in my office in this very chair all by myself. I close the door so you know I'm not getting distracted. But when I run my meditation sessions, I do it with this headband alongside an app called Muse. And Muse is an app that allows you to start meditation sessions, and what it does is it can track your brain activity while you're running a meditation session. And by the end of your session, you'll get to get a chart, and I'll show you one of those in just a second, that actually shows you how active you were at certain points. And what's cool is it gamifies meditation for you. First of all, it gives you that immediate feedback, which I love, and also it gamifies it. Well, how do you know while you're meditating if you're actually doing it right? Well, it's more than just the graph at the end. It's during your session, you put headphones in or earbuds, and you can listen to your brain. I know this sounds crazy, but just hear me out for just a sec. So in your earbuds, if your brain is active and you have all this traffic in your head and you're thinking about all these different things, you're going to hear louder noises. So you can set different settings. So for me, for example, I like listening to the beach setting, which allows me to hear crashing waves and really loud wind when my brain is active. But when it's not active, I hear very calm waves, no wind. And if you stay calm for a certain amount of time, you are rewarded with birds. You actually hear birds chirping in your earbuds. And it's just a great way to validate whether or not you are actually doing this correctly. And I can literally hear the wind rushing and going away based on what I'm thinking. Now, there's special techniques that you can use to help yourself focus, and it involves a lot of your breathing and what you're thinking about. Typically, I'm counting my breaths, and it allows me to focus on just my breathing and not all the other traffic, but I still find it quite difficult sometimes to focus. But this has really trained me, and again, it's the gamification and the immediate feedback. It's trained me to understand what it feels like to be in true focus. And so I highly recommend you check this out if it's something you're interested in. It's not cheap, though, I will say. It runs about $300 on Amazon if you want to check it out. But if you know somebody who has it, have them borrow it. I actually, last year for a Christmas party, I showed this to some of my friends, and one by one, people came and they sat on this chair and they tried it out and they thought it was really, really cool. And, some of my friends were more calm than others, but it takes some practice, I will say. It took me quite a while to understand what it was like to actually feel calm. But now when I'm working, when I'm doing things, I know when I'm focused. And here's the other benefit of this. I can now get back into work mode much faster. Now, when you work, we're often distracted, right? And it actually takes quite a bit of time to get back into work mode after getting distracted. Well, I can't help some of the distractions that happen. I turn Facebook off, I turn my phone off when I'm working to stop that. But of course, sometimes the dog will bark when the doorbell rings, or my kids will come knocking and I'll get out of focus. Well, a lot of people spend too much time in that transition mode when you're not in the zone anymore. Meditation has helped me get back into that zone, which is really important, much faster. So that's how it's really helpful. So I'm going to play just the beginning part of a session for you, just so you know what this is like, because this is really interesting. I'm going to take this off now because I don't need this. Actually, no, I still need this. So you'll see here. So let me show you what it's like on the phone here really quick. So I'm going to start a session. Again, you would have earbuds in normally, but I'm going to start a session 5 minutes in length. These show you whether or not your brain sensors are actually on fully, and then you'll hear a voice to calibrate.
Sit in a comfortable position and close your eyes. When you hear each category, try to think of as many things that fit in that category as possible. Ready? Here's your first category. Fictional characters.
So this is the calibration mode, where it calibrates your focus while you're trying to think of these things. For instance, they just said fictional characters, and they match that to the brain patterns that you have during your meditation session. So this is how you know if it's working, or how the program knows if it's working for you or not. So we'll skip ahead to what the actual meditation session is like. Hopefully I can do it live here for you.
Place your attention on your breath now.
So you hear that there's loud waves, crashing waves and water, or loud wind. That's because I'm not focusing on anything right now. But let me see if I can calm it down for you live here on the camera. I don't know. I've never done this with other people in the room, so I don't know if I can do it with video. But let me see if I can do it here. I can't do it. Hold on. We'll get it. I'm not in a relaxed position. I can't do it. Can't do it.
It's too hard.
That's too hard. All right, so I just tried to do it live for you. We're not going to put that in the film here because it's almost impossible for me to do with knowing that this stuff is being recorded right now. So maybe I need a little bit more practice. But anyway, what's really cool is at the end, you'll get to see what your results are like, how the percentage that you were calm, the percentage that you were neutral, and the percentage that you were active. And it's cool because over time, you get to see patterns and it actually tells you what they are. On Mondays, you're much calmer, or in the evenings, you're much calmer if you start to do these more and more. And you can do them in 5-minute intervals or 7-minute intervals, 12, or even up to 20 minutes long. And I've found that, obviously the longer that you meditate, the harder it is to stay focused. But I'm working my way up, but I've already started to see immediate results from this too. So let me show you really quick what some of these graphs look like. So here was that session that we just did, which was only lasting 3 minutes, but I couldn't focus knowing that Caleb's right behind me filming and other things are going on. But as you could see, you get points, which again, the gamification is important. It shows you how many times you've recovered. So when you're actively thinking and then you go back to calm, here I was only 9% calm, 58% neutral, and 33% active, which is unfortunate. And then they reward you. This one was the perfect timing reward. The session was less than 10% calm. Probably not as calm as you've hoped it would be, but how do you feel now? Take pride knowing that the time you spent was clearly well worth it. You can go and actually, I'm not going to save this, so I'm going to delete that because that wasn't a real session. You can actually go into your past and look at how often you've done it. This is, milestones that you've done and all these sorts of things. So it's really cool because it keeps track and helps gamify it, like I said. So yeah, I totally take back everything I'd said about meditation before. It is not a dumb thing. It is a very smart thing to include in your daily routine, even though you might look silly using one of these things if you choose to use one of these. So I know a lot of you meditate actually as well, so please feel free to leave your comments below and share your experience with meditation too. Did you also find it kind of weird at first, and what were some of the tricks that you learned to actually help with your focus too? I'm continuing to do it every day, and I hope you choose to include it in your life or at least experiment with it because it's definitely been a game changer for me. So thank you, and I appreciate you. I look forward to serving you in the next episode of SPI TV, where I'm actually going to share some more books with you because I've been getting a lot of requests for that. So look forward to that. Until then, keep the focus, keep up the good work, and I'll see you soon.